this is Clean Coach Carly. I'm the staff nutritionist at Healthy Habits Living. I'm talking today about Supreme Nutrition's Golden Thread, which is Coptis chinensis. Golden Thread is a lot easier to say. And Mimosa pudica seed. There's lots of different parts of the Mimosa pudica plant that are used for herbal supplements. This is the seed. Now, these are both produced by Dr. Leibowitz Company, Supreme Nutrition. And I've talked before about how Dr. Leibowitz was incredibly ill with a very strong infection and he could not seem to get rid of it. He was on one of the Hawaiian Islands. He started eating noni out of the jungle and found that it was helping to get rid of this stealth infection. And so when he got back to the States, he thought, well, I'll just take some noni supplements. Well, they weren't helping. And so he realized how important it was to have potent extracts that didn't have fillers that you could react to, and that were high quality. And so that is what he focuses on with his formulations. He only does single nutrient formulas so that you know exactly what you're getting and what nutrient or herb is helping you. And he doesn't use a lot of fillers or flow agents, which can be difficult and reactionary, cause reactions for very sensitive people. So he is all about quality, and his son now, Dr. Noah, works with him, and they do kinesiology testing on each batch of their raw product to make sure that is energetically viable and going to be helpful for whatever type of illness or infection that you're dealing with. So back to Golden Thread and Mimosa. So Golden Thread is sometimes confused with berberine. Golden Thread is the plant, and berberine is an extract or an alkaloid that comes from the Golden Thread plant. And we know that one of the most useful indications for berberine is lowering blood sugar and cholesterol, which can lead to weight loss. What's less known about Golden Thread is that it is anti-everything. It's antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, and anti-parasitic. And it has all the studies, the medical studies, to back up those claims. Now, Golden Thread has been used in Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, for thousands of years and has been studied both in China and Japan and in the United States. Here's a list of infections that has been studied and shown to be effective for Staphylococcus aureus, H. pylori, Streptococcus pneumonia, tuberculosis, Shigella, Pseudomonas, Salmonella, Entamoeba histolytica, Giardia lamblia, Trichomonas vaginalis, and candidiasis. So you've got bacteria in there, you've got fungus in there, we've got some viruses in there, and you've got some parasites in there. So Golden Thread can be effective at really any unidentified, you would think, stealth infection that you can't seem to get rid of. It has medical studies showing that's improved symptoms in IBD, which is irritable bowel diarrhea, colitis, in depression even, because it acts as an MAO inhibitor, so it affects brain chemistry. It is cardioprotective and can help reduce atherosclerosis. And several studies I read show that it's helpful for reducing the symptoms in arthritis. It is helpful for diabetes because it stabilizes blood sugar and helps to prevent and even reverse neuropathy caused by diabetic complications. And it helps to lower cholesterol. So it kind of sounds like a panacea. I'm sure that it isn't because there isn't anything that cures everything, but Golden Thread is a good aim at really reducing a lot of symptoms caused by infections and other types of illnesses. Another formula that comes from Dr. Leibowitz and Supreme Nutrition is Mimosa pudica. And like I mentioned before, it's been used in Ayurvedic medicine through the ages. And some people use the whole plant or the stem. Now this is the seed. And what's unique about the seed is that it is so mucilaginous. And that just means soaks up water. And it becomes this mucousy kind of cross between like silly putty and snot when it gets in water. So if you have a capsule of it, I recommend opening it up and putting it in water and seeing what happens. It's a little home science experiment. So what's interesting to note about that though is that it acts like a sponge and even an intestinal cleaner because it soaks up a bunch of water, so it bulks up and it can kind of scrape the lining of the intestines. And it's even thought to capture parasites in that gooey mess smother them and carry them out of your body. So it's important to note that you can become constipated with Mimosa pudica because it is absorbing so much water in your intestines and in your colon. So I recommend always start low and slow and drink extra water. Now, mimosa also has its own studies showing that it is antibacterial, anti-diarrheal, so it can help to reduce diarrhea, anti-diabetic by stabilizing blood sugar, anti-ulcer, anti-convulsant, anti-venom, and it can help reduce the effects of hemorrhoids. Now, using Golden Thread and Mimosa pudica together is an excellent combination. And I recommend it on a quarterly basis for a seasonal cleanse. We call them parasite cleanses usually, but really we're just trying to rid the body of extra microbes that are in there that might be affecting our health. I also recommend using them together if you have some sort of long-term chronic infection coupled with other immune system disorders or dysfunctions. So if you have Lyme disease or any of those co-infections, or maybe even if you have chronic COVID, now although there's not been any test, you can imagine that if Golden Thread is anti basically everything, that it might have some effect on COVID or maybe some other infections that are making the symptoms of the long haul COVID even worse. So those are just some theories. Here's how I recommend using Golden Thread and Mimosa together. The full dose of Mimosa pudica is 2 capsules 2 times per day. But like I said, you want to start low and slow because you want to make sure you don't get constipated, that you're drinking enough water, and that you're not having any die-off reactions that are creating additional inflammation. So I recommend that when you wake up, you take 1 to start with capsule, but up to 2 capsules of mimosa with at least 10 ounces of water. Then you wait an hour, and then you take 1 to 2 caps of the Golden Thread. Now, the idea behind this is that you take the Mimosa pudica and it will move through your stomach into your small intestines and get a little bit of water in there. And it's like a sponge waiting to soak up anything that might be killed off from the Golden Thread capsules that you take an hour later. So Mimosa pudica first, then the Golden Thread. And I recommend that same routine right at bedtime. So an hour before you go to bed, take some Mimosa pudica, and then right when you go to bed, take your 1 to 2 capsules of Golden Thread. So those two together are a great way to deal with your long-term or your stealth infections, or for a quarterly parasite cleanse to improve overall health. So here at Healthy Habits Living, we're always here to give you the best advice about the best supplements and nutrients for your health concerns. We are here to help you get healthy so you can stay healthy and be healthy.